Greetings, everyone, for our first pretty simple and straightforward reflections on the Sunday Gospels as we near the end of the Lenten season, and just thought, along with John, that we would offer some meditations and some reflections using the foundation of the Theology body, but then focused on the Sunday Gospel. For the fifth Sunday of Lent, we're going to hear about the raising of Lazarus. And as I reflected on the gospel for this particular Sunday and where we find ourselves in the situation with the virus, this is the insight that came to me, and both with Martha and with Mary, with Lazarus, who they have lost, and then Jesus is coming to them and their invitation to come. The thought that came to me is that there's always a danger, and if that's what Martha and Mary were struggling with, really a danger that mortality would overshadow immortality. So as we move through these days together with the understanding that we look forward to the resurrection of the body in that fullness, and how that will be for us at the end, that's really our hope and that's really our goal, is to make sure that we understand through the grace of God and the mystery of our faith that mortality will never overshadow immortality.
Right, and I think one of my favorite parts of that is when Jesus looks right at Mary, I believe, and after she says, "But Lord, there will be a stench," and he's like, "Do you believe? Do you have faith?" And so much of we're so afraid of our own stench, our own sin, our darkness, the things that we want to hide, that we will put stones, rocks, walls. This is beautiful imagery to help us understand who we are on the deeper level of our identity. So often the evil one is trying to get us to believe that we are our sin, we are our addiction, we are our suffering, or whatever tribulation we may be facing, when in truth our identity is we are sons and daughters of the King, of God himself, that we are royalty, and but only through death can we find resurrection. Only through trusting in Christ can we allow him to grant us the great reward that we're destined for.
To follow up on that just a bit, John, I wondered if one of the most significant lines in the Holy Gospel for the fifth Sunday of Lent is when Jesus turns to them and instructs them, "Untie him and let him go." So there is then that release from all of those things that bind us and all of those kind of disfigured things that we have. What happened then to Lazarus, untie him and let him go. Then he has the freedom to love, and he has the freedom and really kind of a mirror image of what heaven is going to be like.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it even goes with what St. Paul was saying in his letter, that we will actually have a spirit that if we live our life according to the Spirit, that our bodies may be dead, but our spirit lives on, and it is through that life in the Spirit that Christ is then able to give us a mortal life for even our mortal bodies, which that is the great hope of our faith, of the gospel, of what it means to be human for every person, whether they're Catholic or not. We have to have that deep belief that if we can bring people into a different lifestyle, a different understanding of who they are, to tap into the essence of their existence, who is God, I believe that is what will bring people the kind of hope, especially in the face of a pandemic like this. So.
And a real opportunity, I think, that we're back to hope not to miss that. But this is an opportunity. We would never want to choose this, how to do this, but for us to really focus on our interior life. And what can happen, I think, in that prayer, that meditation, based on the reflection on the Holy Gospels for this particular season, for the end of Lent, then leading through up to Divine Mercy Sunday, what we can experience domestically, if you will, and you do that as a husband,
Yes,
do that as a
yeah.
spouse, is to have really an icon of heaven before